Well, hey there, everybody. It is that time of the week again. It is week 4 of the Power Performance Index. Getting off to it, I'm recording this. It's a little later in the evening here because I was at I was with a couple of friends at the Dead End Hayride, which basically is kind of like a haunted house type of thing. Only it's a big hayride and scary monsters and all that stuff. It's kind of a thing we do every year. It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun watching a lot of a lot of people get literally scared like out of their mind. But it's a good time. But get back home and we're doing this, the Power Performance Index for week 4 of the NHL season. And sitting at number 32, this is kind of becoming a familiar spot for these guys. And it's not who you'd necessarily think. It's Calgary. Calgary's at 32 again. This is, I believe, the second week in a row that they've been at 32. Is this the second week in a row, or is this the third? Maybe the third. I'm trying to remember. Let's see. Okay, yep, they were 32nd last week. Wow. Okay, three weeks in a row. 3 weeks in a row for the Calgary Flames at number 32. Yeah, they might be. They definitely, I think, right now could be the front runner for Gavin McKenna. They're not looking good. I mean, they've lost 3 in a row. I mean, they're 1-7-2 in their last 10. Yeah, not good. Number 31, dropping 6 spots from the week prior. They have lost 6 in a row, and they were looking okay earlier in the season. They were looking okay, but yeah, they're not looking good. They're not looking good right now. St. Louis, the Blues are 31st. They are they have not looked good. I don't know what is going on with them right now. Bennington has had his struggles. To me, the Blues should be a better team than what they are, and right now they're just not. Number 30, kind of a surprise that these guys are down this far, but it's kind of and maybe these guys might say, screw it, let's have a bad year and tank for McKenna. Minnesota. So the Wild are at 30, and yeah, they're not. Gustafsson is struggling. Wallstedt has kind of had his struggles. I mean, obviously, everybody here looks at Kaprizov as, hey, he's going to be the $17 million man. He's got to lead the team, but the whole team right now, I mean, Boldy's not playing great. Faber's not playing great. Kaprizov's, doing. He hasn't really played that great, but yeah, the Wild actually did get a win today, which kind of surprised me. But yeah, the Wild are not playing real well right now, and again, just typical Minnesota sports. Number 29. These guys had a great week this week. They had a good week this week, but they only moved up 1 spot, and they've won 2 straight, and that's San Jose. So the Sharks are 29, and I honestly thought of flipping 29 with 28, but I was looking at where you know, it was just kind of one of them things like, you know, San Jose had lost during this little stretch. They lost in regulation. Number 28 had not, but you could easily flip-flop 29 and 28, honestly. 28 is Buffalo. So the Sabres, of course, they're the Sabres. They're the Sabres, but they're they're a little better. I mean, they went 1-0-2 this week. They're it's Buffalo, and I really would like to see the Sabres do good. I really would. They need to make a run toward the playoffs at some point. Hopefully they can, put something together. But yeah, right now the Sabres are still in that bottom row, and I don't know if they can climb out of there or not. Number 27. Yeah, these guys did not. These guys, what did they drop? They dropped 4 spots. Yeah, they went 1-3 this week. Nashville. The Predators. I guess I don't know what's going on with Nashville right now. I mean, they did get a win today, which was good, but yeah, they spent a lot of money in this last offseason to improve this team, and they're just, they went out and they got Marchessault, they got Stamkos. Of course, they have Saros in net, and it's just right now it's not looking great. It's not looking that great right now for Nashville. Number 26. Now they went 2-1-1 this week, 5-3-2 in their last 10. Dropping 3 spots, they lost in overtime tonight, and that was Ottawa. So the Sens are in the bottom row. Again, they dropped 3 spots. They were in the middle row, and now they're in the bottom row. And again, Ottawa is one of those teams where I think people are expecting something. They're expected to be a playoff team this year. They were a playoff team last year. People are expecting them to be a playoff team this year. I mean, sitting without their captain, Brady Tkachuk. It's very easy to get the Tkachuk brothers switched around. Brady's out for a while. He is a key guy for them, and him not being in the lineup is definitely hurting the Ottawa Senators. Number 25, dropping 10 spots. They were looking good last week, and then they hadn't played well. They went 1-2 this week, and they are 5-4-1 in their last 10. But the way some of these other teams that were behind them have played this week, it knocked them way down. That's the New York Islanders. So the Islanders are 25th, and yeah, they were 15th last week. 15th. And yeah, it dropped some 10 spots. Yeah, I mean, the Islanders, they're flirting with last in the East right now. And yeah, it's not great. I mean, the Islanders are they're not that great right now. I mean, they are currently last in the Eastern Conference. And yeah, the Islanders at 25th, yeah, I think they kind of earned that spot. Number 24. They dropped 7 spots. So yeah, we had some big drops this week. They went 2-2 on the week. They're 5-5 in the last 10. They lost tonight, oddly enough. They lost to Minnesota, and that's Vancouver. So the Canucks, who were 17th last week, drop all the way to 24th. And yeah, it kind of hurts them a little bit. Definitely hurts them a little bit. And you know, Besser's out. I don't know how long Besser's going to be out. That was, yeah. I saw footage of how he got hurt. Yeah, it didn't look good. Did not look good. We're not sure how long he's going to be out, but he's a key guy for the Canucks, and without him in the lineup, yeah, Vancouver, that might be a struggle for him this year. Number 23, moving up 6 spots. These guys all of a sudden kind of woke up a little bit. They went 3-1 this week. They've won 3 in a row. Hello, New York Rangers. So the Rangers are 23. Let's they climb out of. I mean, they were what were they? They moved up 6 spots, so they were 28th or they were, yeah, no, 29th last week. They were 29th last week. Now they're up to 23. So, the Rangers, they are expected to be better. I still expect better things from them. They've got the talent. They've got Shesterkin in goal. They got Zibanejad. They've got, they've got Fox, Panarin. This is a team I expect them to be better than what they've been. Right now, they're on a little bit of a high. Can they keep it going? We shall see. Number 22. Speaking of a team that's on a nice high right now, they have won 3 in a row. Also, they also moved 6 spots because they were kind of right next to each other last week, and they're still next to each other. Boston. So the Bruins are 22. So yeah, they were right next to each other, and yeah, they both move up 6 spots. And they both were struggling hardcore, and now they're looking good. The Bruins have won 3 in a row. They're looking halfway decent. 3-1 on the 3-1 on the week. Can they keep the momentum going? Can they keep that momentum going? We shall see. Number 21. Even though these guys, they've lost 2 in a row, they did lose in overtime tonight. They went 1-2-1. They were up and down most of the week, and they end up at the end of the week. They end up in the same spot. And that is the Blackhawks, Chicago. So the Blackhawks are 21. They stay 21. I like how Chicago's looking right now. They're looking decent. They're looking like a team that's definitely on the rise. Connor Bedard is looking awesome. Chicago might finally be putting a team together that, I don't know. I don't know if they make the playoffs this year, but boy, it'd be cool if they could stay in that mix. It's nice to see them in that part of the board. Can they move up anymore? We'll see as the season goes on. Number 20, another team that ended up staying in the same spot. They went 2-1 this week. And again, they were up and down, but at the end, they stayed in the same spot. Number 20, Maple Leafs. Toronto, of course, not many people really have been caring about the Toronto Maple Leafs the last week or so, because there's a little baseball team in Toronto that has been on a hell of a run. And, they were 1 win away from a World Series title. They were technically 2 outs away from that World Series title in the 9th inning tonight, and they blew it. They pulled a Toronto. Game 7. Normally we think it's just the Leafs that have trouble in Game 7. Yeah, nope. The Toronto Blue Jays kind of blew that, and the LA Dodgers won their 2nd straight World Series and their 3rd in the last 6 years. So yeah, the Blue Jays. Not many people have paid much attention to the Leafs with the incredible run that the Blue Jays were on, but the Blue Jays come up short, and the Maple Leafs. Well, we'll see how they continue to play through the rest of the year. Number 19. This is crazy. They went 3-0 in the week. They've won 4 in a row. They moved up 11 spots. They were 30th last week. They're 19th this week. Tampa. Tampa's finally, it's looking like we've been wondering, will the real Tampa Bay Lightning please stand up? We might finally be seeing the real Tampa Bay Lightning here. We've been wondering, where have they been? What's been going on? Tampa's all of a sudden they're getting their groove back, and they're looking like the team that we all thought that they would be, and yeah, Tampa is they're starting to climb, and yeah, if the Tampa Bay Lightning they get rolling, ooh, they could be a very, very scary team. Good to see them finally getting out of that funk they were in. Number 18. These guys have won 3 in a row. 2-0 this week, 6-4 in the last 10. But yeah, they've won 6 in a row, and they moved up 6 spots. I believe I got them at 6 spots. Yeah, 6 spots. Columbus. So the Columbus Blue Jackets are at 18. Now, again, can they continue to climb? Can they continue to win? They got close last year. They got real close to the playoffs last year. I was really pulling for them to get in the playoffs last year. They were just, what were they, like 1 point short? Oh, it would have been so cool to have seen them get in. They just missed, but right now they're playing decent right now, and we'll obviously see what they can do. I mean, right now they are, currently they're 3rd in the Metro. So let's see if Columbus can keep that up. They have played 2 less games than a lot of these teams, 1 or 2 less games. But yeah, it's good to see Columbus doing well. Can they keep the momentum going? Number 16, or no, number 17, not number 17. These guys dropped. I forgot to write it down. What did they drop? Yeah, they only ended up dropping one. They only ended up dropping 1 spot, but they've lost 2 in a row, and they're 4-2-4 in their last 10. They got a number of overtime or shootout points in there. The LA Kings. So the Kings are sitting at 17. They're a very unpredictable team too. We don't know what we're going to get from one moment to the next with the Kings. Let me write that down. There we go. We don't know what we're going to get from them. They're a very complicated team, and right now they are sitting. Where are they sitting? They are. Scroll down here. They are currently the number 2 wild card in the Western Conference. So we'll see what the Kings can do and how they can improve. But yeah, they ended up dropping 1 spot. Number 16, dropping 8 spots. They were in the top row last week. Now they're at the end of the second row. They lost in a shootout, but that makes 4 losses in a row for them, dropping 8 spots. The Capitals. So the Washington Capitals, who were looking like a pretty darn good team early on in the year, yeah, they've hit a little bit of a snag right now. And I mean, they lost today to Buffalo, a team you probably shouldn't really lose to, at least if you're Washington. But, and especially considering they were up by 2 goals, and they ended up losing in a shootout. And I don't know what's going on with the Capitals right now, but they kind of got to get that squared away. Number 15, dropping 2 spots from last week. They went 1-0-1 on the week. They have kind of struggled. They're 4-5-1 in their last 10. And again, I've talked about injuries with the Ottawa Senators and them being without their captain. Well, these guys are without probably the 2 biggest stars on their team. And we're talking the reigning defending champion Panthers. So the Panthers are 15. And again, they're without Barkov. They're without Tkachuk. Barkov, we're not sure if he's out for the whole year. Tkachuk will probably be out for the rest of this calendar year. And, so the role players, a lot of the role players, like the third liners and fourth liners, are really having to step up. And a lot of them are, which is good because they need that right now with Barkov and Tkachuk being out. But yeah, Florida right now is they're kind of struggling. They had a good win today over Dallas, but it took overtime. But they got the win, and they're number 15 right now. And again, they honestly don't care where they finish as long as they're above the playoff line. That's all they care about. Number 14. Now, this is a good thing to see here. I haven't seen these guys in the second row in a while. They moved up 5 spots. They've won 2 in a row. They're 6-3-1 in their last 10. Hello, Anaheim. So the Ducks are 14. The Ducks? 14 Ducks. All right. It's good to see Anaheim doing well. And Anaheim right now, looking at, let me go back and look at the standings here. They're just outside the playoff line. They're just outside the playoffs, but boy, they are looking much better. And it's good to see. It is good to see them playing and doing a lot better than they have been. Number 13. Dropping 3 spots. They went 0-2 this week. Yeah, 0-2. Both losses in overtime. Seattle. So the Kraken are sitting at 13 now. They're still doing well. This is still good to see Seattle in that middle row. And they're not that far out of the top 10. And they're third right now in the Pacific Division, and they've played well. I mean, they have a record. I mean, they've only lost 2 games in regulation. I mean, granted, they still have lost 6 of 11, but 4 overtime or shootout loss points. It's not bad. And I guess we'll see how they progress. Number 12. Even though they lost, even though they did lose tonight, they lost to Toronto tonight. They still move up 6 spots. They went 2-1 this week. They've looked good. They've actually looked pretty good right now, and that's the Flyers. So the Flyers are at 12, and again, the Flyers are looking all right. They are looking decent. They are not they're not in the playoffs right now, but again, they've played well. I mean, they played 11 games, they've won 6. So I mean, it's not horrible. And Phillies, they're a young team. They've got some stuff they're trying to figure out. Rick Tocchet is really trying his best to get this team to believe in his system. And who knows? The Philadelphia Flyers, could they be a playoff team? Certainly could. I don't, we'll see. It's a long season yet, though. Number 11. Number 11. Dropping 9 spots. These guys have struggled this week. They went 1-2 on the week. They lost. They lost again today to Boston. 6-4 in their last 10. And yeah, they were second. They were second last week. They dropped all the way to 11. Carolina. Well, I mean, you talk about teams that get into a little bit of that can get into a little bit of a rut. Yeah, Carolina's kind of fallen into that rut right now. Carolina's not playing real well, and it would be nice to see them start playing a little bit better. They were looking fantastic, just a couple of weeks ago, and they've kind of fallen off right now. Let's see if they can get back up. Number 10. They went up 4 spots. They've lost their last 2 games in overtime and a shootout. So, and they're definitely one of the better teams in the league if they can really get it going. And that, of course, is the Dallas Stars. So the Stars, of course, they are number 10. I think the Stars are a team that will be reckoned with come the playoffs. Right now, they are the number 1 wild card. And again, I mean, they're playing all right. I mean, they're 6-3-3 on the year, and we'll see what Dallas does. To me, they're better. They're better than the way they're playing right now. I can say that. I think they're a lot better than what they're showing right now. Number 9, just outside the top row. They move up 2 spots. They also went 2-0-2 this week, and they are 4-4-2 in their last 10. As what did Steve Dangle call this for these guys? Oil-tober? The Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers are 9, and yeah, the Oilers in October. They always kind of they're always kind of middling. They're always just kind of barely hovering around 500. Even though, I mean, right now they are second in the Pacific. They're tied with Vegas, but yeah, they haven't looked that great. They have not looked that great. And again, this is a team that has been to the Stanley Cup final the last 2 years in a row. They are the team to beat. And again, they always seem to do this in October. They always kind of struggle. I do expect them to turn it on as the season progresses. And I think when Zach Hyman comes back, that is going to be a huge boost for them, I believe. They definitely need him. Moving into the top row now, at number 8. Dropping 3 spots from last week. They went 1-1-1 on the week. And again, this is another team. They're better than what they're better than what they're showing. To me, they are better than what they are showing. And that's, of course, Vegas. The Vegas Golden Knights are number 8, and again, I expect them to be better. I was kind of half expecting, especially with the signing of Marner, I figured they're a shoo-in to win this division. They're just going to run right through the division. Yeah, they're not right now. They've got Edmonton is tied with them, and Seattle's only a point back. So Vegas is, and yeah, I mean Vegas, they're 6-2-3, but they're another one of those teams. They're kind of underachieving right now. I believe. Number 7. Where'd this team come from? I mean, who saw this coming? At number 7, they went 2-1-1 this week. They did lose. They did lose today. I'm trying to remember who did they lose to. Let's see. I do remember this too. They lost to a darn good team. Who did they lose to? Where'd they go? Oh yeah, yeah. They lost to a pretty good team, a team you haven't seen up here yet. But yeah, these guys just—it's crazy that they're this high. Number 7, yeah, they've gone up 2 spots though. Pittsburgh. So the Penguins are in the top row. They are 7. Pittsburgh Penguins are looking really good right now. Even though they did lose today to Winnipeg. Pittsburgh is having a tremendous start to the season, and I mean they're tied for first in the Metro, and it's been a real good run so far for the Penguins, and hopefully they can continue that. Crosby, Malkin, Letang, the big guns. Hopefully they can keep it going, and if they can, it could be a very interesting team later in the season. Number 6. Now, there's another team. Where'd these guys come from? It's amazing what happens. You get a halfway decent coach that kind of knows what he's doing. They're 2-1. They went 2-1 on the week. They're 7-3 in their last 10. Even though they did lose their most recent game, they still move up 6 spots. And look out below. Here come the Red Wings. Detroit. The Detroit Red Wings. This is, we've been waiting. We've been waiting for this team to put something together it's been years now. What's going on with the Yzer plan? How is the Yzer plan doing? And I was one of those that honestly for this year, especially if they don't make the playoffs, I got to think Yzerman would probably be out of a job. But I mean, they're playing really well right now, really well. I mean, they are second in the Atlantic Division, and yeah, Detroit is looking really good right now. And Dylan Larkin, DeBrincat, those guys are looking real good right now. And yeah, can they keep it going? That's the whole thing. Can they keep it going? Number 5, moving into the top 5, dropping 4 spots. They went 2-2 this week. Even though they are 8-2 in their last 10, they did get a win tonight. If they wouldn't have gotten a win tonight, they might have actually dropped probably at least one more spot. But yeah, they went from number 1 last week to 5, New Jersey. The Devils are number 5. Again, they were first last week. They dropped to 5 this week. They are still a pretty good looking team. They are first in the Metro. 9-3. I mean, they are 9-3 on the season. They won 9 of the first 12 games. It's just they had a little hiccup in there, losing 2 in a row, and it ended up dropping them a little bit. But New Jersey, if they can stay healthy, they're going to be a very, very dangerous team. Number 4, moving up 2 spots. They didn't lose a game in regulation this week, but yeah, they got a bunch of overtime points here. They went 2-0-2 on the week. They're 5-1-4 in their last 10, and they're currently first in the Central, even though they've only won 7 of their first 13 games, but 5 of those are overtime points. Colorado. The Avalanche are 4th. The Avalanche are, I mean, again, they're leading the division by 1 point. But again, they've only won 7 of their first 13 games. So, 5 overtime loss points. 5! That's crazy. At this point of the season, 5 out of 13? Yeah. Yeah, Colorado's and Colorado losing, they were up 2 against San Jose and lost in overtime. It's like, man. But I mean, Colorado, they're still one of the best teams in the league this year. And they will be throughout the season. Number 3, staying in the same spot. Now they only played 2 games this week. They went 1-1. They're 8-2 in their last 10, and they have won 8 of their first 11. And I'm liking what these guys are doing right now. Utah, the Mammoth. The Mammoth are still at number 3. They are looking incredible. I love what they're doing. I love the run that they're making, and it's looking amazing right now. They are an absolutely incredible team right now, off to a heck of a start, and to me, the sky is the limit for Utah. Number 2, moving up 5 spots. They only played 2 games this week, but they won them both. They've won 3 in a row. And you want to talk about a team that I think could really make some noise this year? Yeah, watch out for the Habs. Montreal is number 2. You got Slavkovsky, you've got Demidov, you've got Caulfield, you got Suzuki. This team is, when it comes to young stars, this team is loaded. And I mean loaded. Like I said, Demidov, Slavkovsky, Suzuki, Caulfield. Oh my goodness. This Lane Hudson. How the heck can you forget Lane Hudson? Montreal is incredible right now. And boy, Montreal was the last Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup. Could it be it takes Montreal to do it again? I don't know. Montreal's looking real good right now. And only team they're behind on the PPI this week at number 1. This is a kind of a familiar spot. These guys were in this spot a lot last year. They moved up 3 spots. They went 3-1 this week. They won 3 in a row. They're also 8-2 in their last 10. They've won 9 of their first 12 games. And yeah, like I said, familiar spot for the Winnipeg Jets. The Jets are number 1 this week. And again, if they would have lost to Pittsburgh, I would have had to have seriously considered flip-flopping these two. But Winnipeg won. So that, to me, just kept them that little bit further ahead than Montreal. If they would have lost to Pittsburgh, you'd have seen the Habs at number 1. I mean, an amazing run that Montreal is on right now. An amazing, again, Winnipeg, 9 of their first 12 that they've won. Montreal, of course, has won. Montreal also has won 9 of their first 12. So yeah, both 2 Canadian teams at the top 2. Not bad at all. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you guys think of this week's Power Performance Index? And how crazy am I? Who is, Do I belong in a straitjacket for some of these teams? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Who do you think's in the right spot? Who do you think's in the wrong spot? And yeah, so hit the like button. Only takes a second. Algorithm likes it when you do that. Only takes a second. Just just a little tap. Just that easy. Just tap the button. Also, subscribe to the channel. That would be awesome. Also, that's just a little tap. Very easy. Subscribe to the channel. That would be amazing. Also, hit the little bell. That will notify you anytime future videos are uploaded. And by all means, share the video with everybody that you know. Friends, family, perfect strangers, whatever. Any video from the channel that you feel like sharing, go ahead and share them with the masses. I love it being able to have my videos get out to the masses. And yeah, week 4 of the Power Performance Index. We're 1 month into the season so far. And how do you think it's going? How's your team doing? Whatever team you're a fan of, how are they doing? Of course, my team here in Minnesota, yeah, they're number 30. No surprise, of course, it's Minnesota. But again, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, share the videos. I will see you guys later.